What's up, guys? This is Corey with the Dirty Gem, back in another video for y'all. So today we are taking a look over a new set 7 deck. This is kind of a revival of an older archetype that hasn't seen a lot of play really for quite a while, actually, and that is Shenron Veggies. So we had some Shenron Veggie type decks before, back in the format when we saw like Child's Wish and everything before the ban. Those never saw just like a whole ton of success, just kind of formats we were in and everything like that, and then whenever Child's Wish got hit, the deck was effectively dead. Veggies has kind of pretty much been dead ever since then. Even then, it never saw just like a whole ton of success, even in our Child's Wish format. I do think the deck has some potential moving forward now that we've got the Assembling the Squad card that kind of works in a similar effect as the Child's Wish. Though not quite as strong for this particular deck, just because it gets it out of the deck as opposed to the drop area and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get over into our list. Alright, so for those of you who are unaware, we've got our Dragon Ball and then our Shenron leader. Once per turn, we can put him in rest mode, search our life or our deck for 2 Dragon Balls, put him in our hand. He flips whenever we have 7 balls in the drop. And then on his backside, we can use a desire card equal to our energy or less than and play it for free out of our hand. Or we can draw a card, or then we can give one of our battle cards plus 10k and triple attack for the duration of the turn. Moving on into the list, so first up we've got 4 Super Saiyan, or Sister Attack Super Saiyan Kale. So this is 2-drop 10k auto whenever she attacks. If you've got another U6 card in your battle area, she gets plus 5k and you draw a card. So she's a nice 15k is good pressure. She's drawing cards. We're able to put her into play for free, so she's a really great complement. Alright, next up we've got Impeccable Super Saiyan Kaba. So he's a 3-drop 15k permanent. He can attack active mode battle cards, and then this card's attack can't be negated. So this is kind of one of our finishers for the deck. At 15k, it's not super powerful, but we're able to give him plus 10k off the leader, and then give him triple attack, so he's a 25k triple attacker whose attack can't be negated. So after we kind of wear them down with all of our other veggies and everything like that, he's a great kind of way to close out the game that way. Next up, we've got Bold Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. She's a 4-drop 20k. She evolves, which isn't relevant for us, so we're not really going to cover that. Then she's an auto whenever she comes into play. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 red Universe 6 card with power 15k or less and put it into play. So ideally, you're putting her into play off the 2-drop Kaba that we'll get to in a minute. And then from her, you can either put in the Sister Attack or the Impeccable Super Saiyan Kappa into play for free and just kind of flood the board that way. Being at 20k, she's really good. That's one of our highest really like natural power level, so just being able to kind of pressure that way is really nice. Next up, we've got kind of the star of the deck. We got 4 Super Saiyan, Saiyan Team Arcava, so it's a 2-drop 2 green, 10k. So the permanent. All of your Kale and Caulifla cards cost 1 green specified cost less to play. So if you have multiples of these into play, you can start dropping stuff out of your hand for free, which is nice. And he's got the auto whenever he comes into play. Look at the top 10 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 Caulifla or Kale you find there. If it's a Caulifla, you can put it into play. If it's a Kale, you put it in your hand. So this is more how we kind of flood the board. Our ideal target for this is the Bold Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla, because whenever she comes into play, she looks top 7. So that's how we're really kind of like rushing the field, loading up the board, and things like that. Alright, next up we've got 4 Spirited Search Super Saiyan Trunks. So it's a 2-drop 15k. It's got the auto if you've got 5 or more life. Whenever you play this card, you can find 2 Dragon Balls, put them in the drop. We're never really going to use that for that. And then he's got the auto activate main once per turn. If your life is at 4 or less, you can choose a desire card in your drop area, put it back in your hand. This is really what this is used for, so we can start getting back or assembling the squads and things like that. Ideally, more often than not, what this is a green energy for us. We don't ever really want to charge any of our like veggie engine if we can avoid it. So this is a great like just a free green energy that we can charge. Alright, next up we've got 2 Super Saiyan 2 or Going All Out Caulifla. So this is our 2-drop 2 green 20k permanent. Cards in our battle area can't be placed in the drop area by our skills, which is not relevant to us. Auto whenever it comes into play, you can draw a card. Really, this is just another target off the Kaba. She comes into play, we take a life, she's 20k for free. She costs 2 green, so if we've got 2 Kabas in play, we can just play her out of our hand for free, which is nice. We ideally don't want to be hitting these off the Kabas, we'd rather hit the red Caulifla, but this isn't a terrible target to hit either, just because she's 20k that comes out for free. Next up, we've got Hidden Awakening Kale. So she's a 4-drop 2 green, 20k critical, auto whenever this comes into play. Choose one of your battle cards, KO it, then choose any of your opponent's battle cards equal to energy 5 or less, or up to 5, and then KO them. And then auto whenever she attacks. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, you can draw a card. So you're kind of another really great finisher. So she kind of goes in tandem with the 2-drop green Caulifla. If she's in play, then we don't have to KO any of our battle cards, and we can just kind of board wipe our opponent. This is really great for kind of the early game if you can get her out, because she gets rid of all like the 1k or the 1-drops and the 2-drops and things like that. She's really great for all the blockers that are going to be in the upcoming format, like the 0 cost, like the token blockers. She can just board wipe all those at the same time. If you can get these out really early, you can kind of just clear the board out. And then she's great critical pressure. 20k is a nice number to hit. And then if our hand size get low, she kind of refills our hand that way. Same thing with the Caulifla. If we've got multiple of these Kabbas in play, she becomes cheaper. So if we have 2 Kabbas in play, she becomes a 2-drop, and we can pay any color energy for her. We don't have to go specified green. And then if you ever get to like, you have 4 Kabbas in play, you can just play her out of your hand for free, which sometimes does come relevant. But more realistically, you're getting like 3 Kabbas in play and just playing her for 1 energy or whatever, and then just kind of blowing up the field, and then you got a crit swinger, things like that, which is nice. Next up, we've got 2 Dangerous Journey Bulma. So whenever you play this card, if you lead a Shenron card, you can choose 3 cards with a battle or the energy cost of 3 or more, and shuffle back in your deck. So this is relevant for us. Pretty much particular to find like the Kale, the 4-drop Kale, the 4-drop Caulifla, and the 3-drop Kabba, and shuffle those back in the deck. That's really the only kind of recursion that we have. Unfortunately, we don't have like access to Child's Wish, so once these get in the drop, we're not running World Peace or anything like that, so these puts us back in the deck. So then we can use our Kabba and try to find them off the top and things like that. So that's really what this is for. You know, we can combo these early or whatever it is. That's a great way to just kind of get those back. Next up, we've got 4 Temporal Rescue Trunks. This is just our super combo, sparking 5. 2 Dragon Radar. This is to get our assembling the squads back. This is also to kind of get more Dragon Balls early, so we can start drawing cards earlier. Just gotta make sure we get flipped as soon as possible. 4 Power Bursts. This is just our Sparking Negate. The only target that we have to get off the ability is the Dangerous Journey Bulma, which sometimes is relevant. It gets us an additional 5k, which is nice. Next up, we've got 4 Assembling the Squad. This is really kind of how the deck runs. So it's a 2-drop Desire card. You can choose 1 battle card with an energy cost of 2 or less and power 15k or less from your deck, put it into play. So this is how we get out our Saiyan Team or Kabba. Ideally, we're going like flipping on turn 2, we're paying 2, we're playing this, going getting a Kabba, searching, and then we're flipping, putting that one back into our hand, playing it for free with the leader ability, then going get another Kabba, kind of loading the board up more that way. And then finally, we're just running pretty standard, just 7 Dragon Balls. There's none of the additional fact Dragon Balls that are really relevant to us. You could potentially maybe run like the 1-star ball, but we don't really want to discard cards because we need these cards in our hand or in our deck. So that's not super ideal for us. So just 7 Dragon Balls, I think, is probably the best kind of way to go. Like I said earlier, what the whole strategy of this deck is just board swarm. We're going like turn 2, like assembling the squad, getting a Kabba, and then a leader ability free, assembling the squad, getting a Kabba, playing Kabba out of our hand for 2, loading the board up that way. I've had several games by turn 3. I've had all 4 Saiyan Team or Kabbas out. My board is just huge. I'm able to drop the Kales for free, able to drop the Cauliflas for free, and all that kind of stuff, and just having a super wide board. Now, those are kind of the strengths of the deck. Some of the weaknesses of the deck, obviously, is Kami, Global Unifier, just absolutely obliterates the deck. We're not able to recover any of the Kabbas. There's not a way to shuffle 2-drops back in the deck. There's not a way to bring those back from the drop area, put them into play or anything like that. So we are stuck that way. Some ways to kind of get around that. It goes a little bit more on the expensive side, but Shenron Figure of Majesty is something you could potentially side in, because that lets us bring in a 2-drop back into play, and we can kind of go that way. At 4, it's a little bit of expensive for us. We're kind of wanting to go off by turn 3, turn 4, and kind of win the game by then. But that's really what we're trying to do, is just flood the board with 20Ks and 15Ks and just swinging in, like really pressuring our opponent that way, and then just kind of closing up the game with the Saiyan Impeccable Kabba. Other things that are really negative to us, Chain Zeno is really annoying, resets our board. The nice thing is that the Kabbas get put back in the deck, so we can just kind of like go back up the chain that way. So it's not super negative to us. It does like restock our hand, which is a little bit annoying because we generally have a pretty nice hand size. Senzu Beans, super annoying if they've got like multiple Senzu Beans on a turn. That can kind of save them for one turn, because you got to remember our strongest battle cards are 20Ks, so we're not really able to get up high. We're not necessarily wanting to combo a lot of battle cards outside of super combos, just because we don't want these in the drop, because they don't do us a lot of service in the drop. Other thing, Nimbus is really annoying because you know, that kind of just slows down that whole swarm strategy. So there are a lot of answers to the deck. It's not nearly as strong as it was before, but we have incredible early turn plays. We're able to just blow up the board, like get like, you know, 3 to 4 4-drop Khalifa's out, get the Kales out, get the 2-drop Khalifa's out, get the sister attack Kale out, and we're just swinging multiple times with multiple bodies and everything like that, just really like blowing up the board that way. It's really nice for us. I do think the deck probably has a place in the format. I don't think it's nearly as strong as the deck's been back in the old Ginyu days when you could just like Sugesh things into play, or the Mecha Frieza days and things like that. But it is strong. I wouldn't imagine this deck to ever kind of like dominate an event or anything like that, or become like super meta relevant, just because it does have so many answers. A lot of decks are kind of maining Kami at the time right now. If not main, it's definitely in the side. Nimbus is super prevalent. It's just one of the better one of the better negates. Senzu Beans floating around everywhere and different things like that. So the deck does have answers. It's not as strong, like I said, as it used to be. I do think it's a very fun deck to play. It's super fun to just like go turn 3 and just have a full board of like 10 battle cards that are just swinging in, drawing cards, and doing all sorts of different things like that. But anyway, guys, that is it, and we will see y'all next time.